I wanted to bring that up because you said, hey, this is, all the things that we were used to and accustomed to with WrestleMania. That's out the window. Karl Anderson, who you and I think a lot of, he has a great podcast with Doc Gallows, great friend of the show. The name of their podcast is called Talk and Shop. And Karl had a quote that I wanted to read to you. He said, it's not the WWE anymore. Guys, it's a company called TKO. I don't look at WWE as WWE anymore. They're TKO now, and that's great. That's good for them, but it's not the same thing. I think a lot of people feel that way just because Vince isn't there. But yeah, in more ways than one, this is not WWE anymore. It is indeed TKO, right?
Yeah, and I said it, and I've gotten interesting the feedback I've gotten. They're like, hey, I really never looked at it that way. But I do. I think it just sounds it to me, and this is Jeff talking to Jeff. The clarity of it was, at the end of the day, Vince is third generation promoter, if you will. And at the end of the day, every decision he made was based on what he thought the wrestling fan wanted. And the rules are rewritten. Those rules no longer apply. TKO does what is best to get a return on investment. They are their master, if you will, and you can't serve two masters. Their master, if you will, is private equity. Their powers that be, and get the return on investment, the highest return they possibly be. And that when they quit getting the highest returns they can, they're going to sell the asset. I just think it's that simple. I just think they're going to burn and churn and burn and churn and burn and churn. My grandmother, used to always, not teach, preach, just in so many ways. Son, as a promoter, you always have to prepare for rainy days. Well, when the rain comes on TKO, they are changing cities and changing assets. I do. I just think it's that simple. They are not concerned at all, other than the return on investment, and that's the business they're in. So I'm not that's not a knock. I want to be clear that is not a dig. That is not a knock. They are doing exactly what they're set out to do and what their investors want them to do. Matter of fact, require them to do. So it's just a different playing field. And Karl, what he's saying, I think a lot of folks are saying, and it's just kind of the awakening, and it's going to continue down this road. I think we're just scratching the surface on what a different company it is.
Speaking of a different company, there's been a lot of chatter about Vince McMahon starting another wrestling company. Over the weekend, of all places, TMZ caught up with Shane McMahon, and there's a video of Shane on the TMZ website where he's answering some questions. He was asked about the rumors of him and his father perhaps starting a new wrestling promotion, and Shane said something like, you never know what's going to happen out there. Of course, anything can happen in WWE, but those rumors are false. He was also asked about AEW, and he said something like, I had a meeting with AEW and wish them continued success, but it's not WWE. It's not the company that I helped build, but you never know what's going to happen in this business. He was rather non-committal on any of it. It is interesting, though, that this is not just a conversation that's happening amongst hardcore wrestling fans. When that was on TMZ, I thought to myself, this isn't accidental.
Shit. That's what I'm cracking up. Oh, TMZ just strategically
randomly ran into Shane. Just an accident. Just he was out to dinner and they just happened to be there. This is strategic, right?
Wait, so I know that TMZ was there to report on, who knows, maybe the NBA finals, getting Shane's comments, or maybe who Shane's with, or maybe the Stanley Cup, or maybe the Tony Awards were this past weekend, or College World Series, anything. But man, oh man, what timing. And Harvey Levin and TMZ reporters, they're always on top of things, Conrad. It's amazing that they had the wherewithal to gather their thoughts and just ask those rapid fire questions. So hats off. What a coincidence, if you will.
Well, so no, listen, you and I are having fun because we're able to sort of read between the lines. But some of our listeners, they just take things at face value and they think, oh, well, they just ran into him. I get that.
Come on.
We know for sure. I shouldn't say we know for sure. It stands to reason in all logic that this was orchestrated, co-opted, if you will. But the question is, why, Jeff? Do you think they just want to keep their name out there and keep the rumor mill going and keep the buzz going about what they're going to be doing next? Or is there more to it than this?
Conrad, can I ask you to do me a favor? Because
Please.
old sayings don't get to be old sayings unless they're true.
That's right.
And there's an old saying, follow the money.
Yep.
What does actually that mean before I give my answer? What does that mean, Conrad?
Well, it means there's usually a financial angle to every move or decision that's made in business. And if you wonder sometimes, hey, why would so and so do that? And why did this happen that way? If you think about whatever happened in financial terms and you start to work backwards and you follow the money, then you can find the root of the motivation for whatever decision or move just happened.
And where there's smoke,
there's fire.
It is interesting, Conrad. We are having fun, and I love chatting it up with you here and a whole lot of chatter. Shout out Dave Green. But that's a good question. Why? Obviously, I think it's TBD, but 14th and what is it?
Yep.
There, as things are transpiring and, when you see Vince sell a little stock here and there, and then you see
a little, you mean $250 million last week? A little?
Well, and
Nick Khan sold $4 million worth of stock last week, and Vince sold $250 million.
Okay. It's all part of the plan. I know. It's reported. It's all part of the plan. But, Vince is sitting on a boatload of cash. He's, at the end of the day, I just said it a few minutes ago, he's a third generation promoter, and his son was randomly caught by TMZ camera, fourth generation. I don't think they're changing line of business at this stage of the game. It's just what is next. What's next? It's in their blood. The entrepreneurial spirit is thriving. It is what it is. It's going to be really, really interesting. You kind of look at the different owners around the NBA and the NFL and see Jerry Jones on his Dallas Cowboy radio show, and you hear different chatters and this and that. And all of those owners, if you will, that just incredible high net worth that have got into, owning franchises and all that kind of stuff. I'll say, the computer world, or the two brothers, Conrad, in the mortgage business that buying part of the White Sox and own the Phoenix Suns. All those guys, all very wealthy, like Vince. And I know some people say, "Oh, they got a lot more money than Vince." Yeah, true. But the big, massive difference in Vince and all those is Vince made all of his money out of promoting. It's what he does. So when he ventures out and does bodybuilding or football, he's venturing out of his space. And a lot of these owners, they're venturing out of how they made their money, and they're getting into the sports world. So at the end of the day, the core of the McMahon family is promoters. It's going to be interesting to see what that next move is going to be, because I don't say this time last year, but not so long ago in the McMahon family, I don't think people would have called Vince and Shane. But look, Shane is in his 50s. He's, a lot of way in the prime of a man's business career. So I just think always keep in mind the next move is Vince and Shane, not Vince.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.